Well, are we saying that our democracy and our freedom is worth £1.50 per person per week? Because that's basically what that research is telling us. Because that's quite a cheap price, I think, for selling our ability to sack
it's
our
£80 million
politicians.
a year overall, and there's been an awful lot of talk.
Individuals don't necessarily get the benefit.
There's an awful lot of talk about how worthwhile it is to be part of the European Union, and what this research sort of shows is that in Wales, just on the economy, just on regional funding coming to Wales, actually there's an economic benefit there. Wouldn't you agree with that?
The reality is, it's our money coming back to us.
An awful lot of it, more of it coming back to us.
No such thing as EU money, and the rest of the United Kingdom is paying £3 a week, so that in Wales we benefit £1.50 a week.
Brilliant. We're benefiting in Wales. Let's stay in the European Union.
No, absolutely not, because £10.1 billion a year net is what we're paying to the EU. And we could use that much better ourselves without the EU actually telling us how to spend that money, where to spend it. And are you seriously saying that the Germans are going to stop selling us their BMWs and Mercedes? Of course they're not. We're the biggest customers.
There are issues here about trade deals which would take years and years to complete, and the uncertainty there.
Okay.
And it's a huge leap
now, this
in the
is
dark,
ridiculous. A leap in the dark is an absolute misnomer. It's disgraceful to say that as the 5th largest economy in the world, we cannot set up our own unilateral trade deals with whoever we want for the benefit of our nation.
In terms of Wales, if we were to come out of the EU tomorrow, our Welsh farmers wouldn't get the cap payments that they get right now. No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
Because our economy would be in difficulty. We would not have the funds to give this. And since when are we in government, Nathan? Can I finish what I was saying?
Then come back to you.
Can I just finish my point here, that actually the direct payments are really important to many of my farming communities, particularly West Wales, where I come from. They are really dependent on it. But the other side of that is Welsh lamb is my biggest export. Over 50% of Welsh lamb goes to the EU.
But then the point is...
No, but the problem is 60% tariff would be the standard tariff on Welsh lamb. Where's our market gone? Our lamb is 60% more expensive for the French, the Belgians to buy. It's not going to happen.
So we're going to bring tariffs on the French selling us their cheese and champagne? Of course we're not. There isn't
but they're luxury items, with all fairness. I mean, lamb is a staple for Wales.
Lamb is a luxury item to a lot of people as well. I don't know about your household, but I only have it usually once a month because it's fairly expensive. Now, with regards to trade deals and all these kind of things, it really is just scaremongering. And you said, if we leave tomorrow, the farmers will not get the CAP. What a load of rubbish. £220 million. Are you telling me that the government in Westminster wouldn't be able to find a pithing £220 million?
David Cameron said there'd be no guarantee of it. David Cameron
That's because he's in the middle of scaremongering, trying to make people vote to stay in.
But we actually do make our own laws. We're actually part of the legislation here. I certainly take part in co-decision processes. I genuinely have an impact on law here. And not only that, under co-decision, not only do the elected members of the House here have a say, but also our Council of Ministers. They're elected. They're the government ministers of each country. If they don't want a rule or a law, it doesn't happen. It's a case of actually finding those rules that work. And on the single market,
when the British government,
you need one set of rules. And on 95% of those rules over the last 7 years, we have been on the same side. It is a tiny number that we have not actually wanted in their entirety.
And we opposed them, and the rest of Europe said tough luck, and we've had to impose
them. But almost every...
Well, there's 79 laws that our government said was not beneficial or good for the British people, and the rest of Europe said, well, tough luck, you've got to have them. We are not a sovereign nation. This vote is about who rules and governs Britain. Is it us, the British people, or is it this place?
My issue is, what is sovereignty? Ultimately, I mean, I'm Welsh, so is my sovereignty the same as that of somebody in England? Is it the same as somebody in Scotland? I suspect not. So sovereignty is a strange word to be using in the first place in the context of the United Kingdom. But leaving that aside, we give up our sovereignty when we actually participate in NATO missions, where our soldiers are sent to fight. We are actually giving up our sovereignty in that. The World Trade Organization is a trade organization with an independent arbitrator. We give up sovereignty as does any member of the WTO. Therefore, our sovereignty is always shared. In a modern global world, there is no such thing as a sovereign nation.
I would love for this to continue for longer, but we have run out of time. Nathan Gill, Kay Swinburne, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.